Welcome back. In this lesson, we're staying with quantity and we're going to look at many, much, and a lot of. And just like last lesson, we're going to check if each type works with countables or uncountables and with positive, question, and negative sentences. Here is the table that we're going to complete during this lesson. And here we have many, much, a lot of, and lots of. We have boxes for if they work with countables or uncountables, and boxes for if they work with positive, question, and negative sentences. So let's start by checking if countables or uncountables work with many, much, and a lot of or lots of. Many, first of all, does it work with countables or uncountables? For example, can we say many apples? Apples being countable plural. And the answer is yes, we can. Many is fine with countable plural. How about many bread? Bread being uncountable. And the answer is no, it doesn't. So, many only works with countable plurals. No exceptions. Next, much. Does that work with countables or uncountables? For example, can we say much apples? Apples again being countable plural. And the answer is no, we can't. How about much bread? Bread being uncountable. And the answer is yes, we can. So, much only works with uncountables. No exceptions. Finally, let's turn to a lot of or lots of. And before we look at whether we can use it with countable or uncountable nouns, do remember that a lot of or lots of is informal only. So we wouldn't say a lot of for a business letter or for an academic piece of writing, for example. However, we can use it in general conversation or for informal writing, such as in an email. Also, in case you're wondering what the difference is between a lot of and lots of, the answer is that there is no real difference. They are virtually the same. The important thing is not to confuse them. So don't say a lots of. It's either a lot of or lots of. So let's now find out if we can use them with countables or uncountables. For example, can we say a lot of or lots of apples in the countable plural? And the answer is yes, we can. A lot of or lots of is fine with countable plural. Next, can we say a lot of or lots of bread in the uncountable? Answer, yes, we can. So as you can see, we can use a lot of or lots of with both countable plurals, apples, and uncountables, bread. So let's summarize what we have so far. Many is for countable plurals only, so many apples. Much is for uncountables only, so much bread. And a lot of or lots of is for both, so a lot of apples and a lot of bread. Let's now turn to whether we can use many, much, and a lot of for positive, question, and negative sentences. Starting with many, here we have 3 sentences in the positive, question, and negative. First sentence, there were many people at the party. Does this work? And the answer is yes, it does, although we only really say many people in the positive in a formal sense. For example, in a business letter or in an academic essay. Next, question form. Can we say, were there many people at the party? And the answer is yes, we can. Many is fine in the question, and in the question form, it's not formal and it's not informal, it's just neutral. How about in the negative? Can we say there weren't many people at the party? And again, it's fine. And again, it's also neutral. It's not formal and it's not informal. So let's add this to our table. Many for positive statements is fine, but for formal use only. For question and negative sentences, it's fine and is neutral in register. Next, much in positive, question and negative sentences. 3 sentences again. First of all, in the positive, there was much food at the party. Is this correct? And the answer is, yes it is, but again, much in the positive is for formal use only. How about in the question? Was there much food at the party? In this case, it's fine, and as with many, it's neutral in register in the question. And finally, in the negative, can we say there wasn't much food at the party? And again, it's fine, and again, it's neutral. So let's complete our table for much. Much in the positive is fine, but formal only. In the question and in the negative, it's fine and is neutral in register. Not formal and not informal, like a lot of and lots of. So that's much. Let's finally turn to a lot of and lots of for positive, question and negative sentences. Let's turn for a final time to our 3 sentences. First of all, in the positive, can we say there was a lot or lots of food at the party? And the answer is yes, we can. Question now, was there a lot of food at the party? Does this work? Answer is yes, it does. And finally, in the negative, can we say there wasn't a lot of food at the party? And the answer is yes, we can. All 3 sentences work. So let's now finish our table. A lot of and lots of in the positive is fine. In the question, it's also fine. And in the negative, it's fine again. So that's the end of the lesson. Now, the most important thing to remember from all of this is that many is for countables, much is for uncountables, and a lot of or lots of can be used with both. The second most important thing to remember is that many and much in the positive are for formal use only. In the question and negative, of course, neutral. And the third thing to remember is that a lot of or lots of is informal. Now there is one final thing I want to mention. As you've seen, many and much in the positive, whereas in the question and negative, they are neutral. What do we say in the positive for a neutral register? We can't use a lot of because that's informal, which is below neutral. And the answer is we use either several for countables, so several apples, or a great deal of for uncountables, so a great deal of bread. So for positive statements, we can use many or much for formal sentences. We can use a lot of or lots of for informal sentences. And in the middle, for neutral sentences, we can use several for countables, several apples, and a great deal of for uncountables, so a great deal of bread. Here is the PDF of the lesson, and as you can see, it covers all the points that we've looked at for many, much, and a lot of and lots of. There are also some example sentences to help. Join me in part 2 for the practice exercises, and in the next lesson we're going to look at a few and a little. Also, there will be practice exercises on all quantity, so some and any, many, much and a lot of, which we've looked at in this lesson, and a few and a little, which we'll look at in the next lesson.